Was me. What did I do this time? Oh, you mean security cameras? You mean security cameras? Oh, okay. I was wondering if you were going to jump. I was like back and forth. No, she didn't tell me her schedule. He's the only one that gave me the schedule. That's right. You got to give me the schedule.
And welcome everybody to tonight's ball game between the visiting Dallas Christian Chargers and the Brook Hill Guard. Tonight's game is brought to you by Azalea Orthopedics. We want to thank you for watching. I think this is going to be a good game between these two teams. A lot of playoff implications as we get closer to the end of the season. And with this game and these two teams, it's all about where they're going to place in the district. This is the first of two games as we'll play here tonight, and then Brook Hill will travel to Mesquite and play at Dallas Christian later on this week.
Please rise for the national anthem.
We're going to go for the national anthem. We'll be right back. And we're live here at Harrington Field on the campus of Brook Hill for tonight's matchup. The starting lineups for the teams will start out with the visiting Chargers. Leading things off is number 8, Cade Johnson. Next up is Caleb Gilreath. Number 10, Caden Long. Then Aiden Hoffman, number 13. 22, Will Ketchum. Followed by number 9, Chad Masters. Number 5, Keegan Webb after that. In the 8th spot, number 12, Jack Stram. And number 9, batter, number 7, Jackson Shelburne. In the field, on the mound for the Chargers will be number 13, Aiden Hoffman. Behind the plate is Jackson Shelburne. First base is Jake Langford. Kay Johnson at second. Keegan Webb at at shortstop. And at third is Hayden Long. In the outfield from left to right, number 12, Jack Stram. Got number 9, Chad Masters. And Will Ketchum is in right. And then for your Brook Hill guard, leading things off for them is going to be number 14, Jabin Moore. Followed by the senior, number 20, Cade Chesley. Number 1, Dylan Malone. After that, cleanup batter, number 21, designated hitter, Lex Rich. Number 7, David Sims follows that. After him is going to be number 2, Andrew Sims. Number 31, Ben Bratz. Then number 10, Samuel Williams. Number 23, Dallas Clements. Cade Chesley is going to be on the mound. Clements behind the plate. David Sims at first. Blake Witten at second. Jabin Moore at shortstop. And Ben Bratz at third. In the outfield from left to right. In left field, Samuel Williams. Dylan Malone in center field. And in right field is going to be Andrew Sims. So we're going to have a good game here. And Cade Johnson is going to step in and lead things off for the Chargers. And here we go. The first pitch is going to be a ball. It's going to be high and outside. The guard coming off a tough loss this weekend to the Brownsboro Bears. As Cade Chesley throws it in there for a strike. So 1-1 the count to Johnson. He looks on, and here's the pitch. That's going to go high for ball 2. So 1-2 the count. Chesley with the windup. And the pitch is going to be high. Out into left field, and it hits the wall. And Johnson's going to head into second base standing up. And we have a leadoff runner for the Chargers. And that was a solid hit out in the left field. So with the runner on second, Caleb Gilreath heads up. Chesley looks in. Checks the runner at second and brings it home. That's going to be in there for a strike. Good pitch by the senior. I have a feeling it's going to be a good ball game today as far as in the batter's box. A lot of good hitters on both of these teams. Here comes the pitch from Chesley. It's going to be outside for a ball. And that's 1-1. So Johnson with a good lead off of second. Chesley from the stretch. Checks the runner. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a high fly ball into center field. Dylan Malone takes about 5 or 6 steps to the left, and we have a run over to third, but no play as Johnson decides better of it. And probably a good choice. Malone is no slouch when it comes to throwing people out. He's got a good arm on him. So 1 down, 1 on, and Hayden Long is in the batter's box for the Chargers. Chesley steps off the rubber and looks back. And Johnson heads back to second. Long waits for the pitch. And here it comes. He went around but pulled back in time. 1 ball and no strikes. Okay, Johnson, the second baseman, playing back deep almost to the right field grass. Here's the pitch, and the runner goes. Johnson. And the throw is in time, but safe, says the umpire as he slides. Johnson slides underneath the tag. And Johnson gets over to third. So 1-1 the count with the runner in third. Long waits on the pitch. And here it comes. And that's a good little slider. Kind of drops off the table there and gets in there for a strike. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Chesley's always got good movement on that pitch. And that's going to be a popper. And they throw home and catch the runner there for out number 2. So Hoffman, Aiden Hoffman, number 13, is going to step up with a runner on first. And that's going to be a hit. And that's going to go all the way across to first. And in time. So a leadoff double accounts for nothing for the Chargers as no runs come across here in the top of the first. So we're going to go to a break now. And we'll be right back here at Brook Hill for the game between the Chargers and the Guard. We'll be right back. And we're back here at Harrington Field for the bottom of the first. As Aiden Hoffman is finishing up his warm-up pitches. The Chargers started off pretty well with Johnson hitting that double. But Chesley settled down and took care of business. So now Jabin Moore is going to lead things off for the Guard. And Hoffman with the windup, and here's the first pitch. And that's going to be outside for a ball. And that one is going to hit the mark for a strike. Right down the middle, 1-1. And a high fly ball out of play. Into the parking lot. 1-2 the count as Moore finds himself behind. And a good little curveball as that'll be a strikeout. And Moore sat down. And the left-hander, Cade Chesley, steps up. It is senior night here at Brook Hill. And he is the lone senior for the Guard on the team. So it was all about him. A good special night for Cade out there. So he's up to bat, his first at bat, and here comes the pitch. That's going to be high, a little above the numbers for a ball. And here comes the next pitch. And that's going to be high into left field. And Strom goes back for the catch on that. And that's going to be out number 2. Dylan Malone steps in. Malone with good speed coming out of that batter's box. And a good hit straight up the middle. But Webb is there and gets it over to first for out number 3. So a quick outing here for the Guard as they go 3 up and 3 down. And we're on to the second inning. No score here at Harrington Field. We'll be right back. We are back here at Brook Hill. In the top of the second, I want to thank you for watching. Go ahead and like and subscribe. That way you won't miss a minute of our NETsn programming. You'll get the push updates when there's any live coverage going on. Also, our chat is open, so if you'd like to chat with us, I'd love to hear from you. Clements tried to hold it there for a minute with a frame shot, but the umpire wouldn't change his mind. So 1-1 the count. And a swing and a miss by Ketchum is going to bring him behind in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Chesley with the windup. It's going to be high, fly ball out of play. And he's still alive. And that's fouled back. So Ketchum staying alive. Not going to go down without a fight. Here's a pitch from Chesley. And that's going to be down the first base line. And that's picked up by David Sims. He'll just step on the bag for out number 1. Chad Masters is up next. Left-hander, we're going to step in the batter's box with nobody on and 1 out. And he swings at the first pitch. It's a little low, but it's going to be a strike. And Chesley with the pitch. Same pitch, a little low. Thought he would go again on it, but I believe Masters learned his lesson on the first one and held his water, so 1-1's now the count. And that's a foul tip backwards. A good cut, little movement on the ball, as I believe it is slider, kind of curved across. So 1-2 now the count as Masters finds himself behind. And that one's in there for a strike, says the umpire. And out number 2 as Masters will head over to the dugout. And Keegan Webb will head to the batter's box. So Chesley finally settled down a little bit, getting a good rhythm there on the mound, and here's the pitch. That's going to catch the outside corner for a strike. Webb waits. That's a little bit too far outside. So the count goes to 1-1. Webb not wasting time, just getting right back in that batter's box. And here's the pitch. And he takes that one. And that one's going to go foul. And Webb gets all the way to first and now has to come on back and reset. And Keegan Webb's going to be behind in the count, 1-2 strikes. As Chesley looks in for the sign. Gets what he likes, and here's the windup with the pitch. And that was a good foul backwards and stays alive. Here's a pitch. Fouled that one off too, so another little battle going on here. As Webb stays alive with that foul. Still 1-2 is the count. And a good hit, but Jabin Moore just takes about 4 steps backwards and gets that out. So 1-2-3 go the Chargers. And we're going to head to the bottom of the second. No score here at Brook Hill. We'll be right back. You're watching NETsn. And we're back. And designated hitter Lex Rich is going to take the first pitch outside for a ball. Oh, correction, I apologize. It's going to be, with that pitch, it's going to be 2 strikes. Looked like a ball to me. That one was, however. So 1-2 strikes to Rich. And here's the pitch. That's going to be outside. Pop backwards over the head of Shelburne. So the count runs even at 2 now. Here's the pitch. And kind of freezes Rich up with that off-speed pitch there by Hoffman and get a strikeout for out number 1. Next up is number 7, David Sims, as he steps up to the plate for the guard. First baseman looks on and waits for the first pitch. That's going to be high and outside for ball 1. Here's the pitch. So the 2 extremes, you had it outside for the first one. That's going to be inside for ball 2. And foul back. Now 2-1 to David Sims. And a good little off-speed pitch again, but not sure where that one was. I think it was a little outside, so 3-1 the count now to Rich. And he fouled that one back to bring the count full. Pardon me, that was Sims. Hoppin with the pitch. And another little curveball. Sits another Brook Hill guard down. So out number 2, and Andrew Sims is going to step in and see if he has better luck this inning against Hoffman, as Hoffman is just chopping them down. He's going to foul that one off out of play for strike 1. And here's the pitch. Another foul backward. So really quick, Andrew Sims finds himself behind in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. High, ball 1. And another little curveball looked to be inside, but the umpire said no, it crossed over into the strike zone for strike 3. So 3 straight strikeouts for Aiden Hoffman, and a heck of an performance there for the young man. So 3 up, 3 down. Go the guard here in the bottom of the second. We're on to the third as we've gone through 2 very quickly here at Brook Hill. We'll be right back. You're watching NETsn with today's game brought to you by Azalea Orthopedics.
Struggling with mobility, chronic pain, work, or sports injury? At Azalea Orthopedics, our team of highly trained physicians specialize in complete orthopedic care, pain management, sports medicine, physical medicine, and rehabilitation. If you've sustained a bone or joint injury, have mobility or movement problems, struggle with pain, contact Azalea Orthopedics. We're conveniently located across East Texas, serving 18 counties. When visiting your doctor, urgent care, or hospital, you have a choice. Demand Azalea. At Azalea Orthopedics, your health is our priority.
And it's a beautiful night for baseball here in Bullard, Texas, on the campus of Brook Hill School. As we've already gone through 2 innings, no score here. And number 12, Jack Stram, is going to step in and see what he can do. As we haven't had a base runner since the very first inning with a double by Johnson. That's going to be fouled back for a strike. In fact, that's the only base runner of the game, was that double that Johnson hit for the Chargers. That's going to be fouled for strike 2. That one kind of bounced straight down and up from the home plate. And Stram is 0-2 here as Chesley brings the pitch. Tries to hit that outside corner, and Clements holds just a little longer, but the umpire says it's a ball, so 1-2 is the count. The strike zone for this umpire is a little off to me. I'm not quite sure what he's doing. A swing and a miss. And I think Stram thought that the ball hit the ground, but the umpire said no, it was a strikeout. And so Stram makes his way to the dugout, and Jackson Shelburne will head in. Here's the pitch from Chesley. It's going to be high for a ball. Here's the windup. And a good pitch by Chesley straight down the middle for a strike, 1-1. Shelburne waiting on the pitch. And he'll swing at that one, as that one kind of a little sinker, sort of. It drops right in front. And now Shelburne has a 1-2 count. And a swing and a miss for strike 3. So, Chesley says, well, anything you can do, I can do the same, and is 2 strikeouts here in the top of the third. Following in the footsteps of Hoffman, who struck out the side last half inning against Brook Hill. Back at the top of the order, Cade Johnson, who doubled in the first. And he watches that one go straight down the pipe for a strike. And that one bounces off Clement's glove. It's a little high. So 1-1 the count. And that one's fouled straight back. And Johnson trying to duplicate what he did at the first at-bat of the game. And it's a hit, going to be foul ball in the left, down the left field line way. So the count remains 1-2 strikes. And here's the pitch. And that one is going to be right back up to the pitcher. As Chesley gets it, throws it over to Sims. And 3 up, 3 down again. Go the Chargers. So we got ourselves a quick-paced game here in Brook Hill. And again, we'll be right back. Hey, go ahead and like and subscribe. We want to thank you for watching. But we also don't want you to miss any other programs that we have coming up. We've got a lot of good games coming up here in the next few weeks, and then the playoffs are going to be starting here in baseball. So go ahead and like, subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you can be notified of any live broadcasts that are starting. We'll be right back. You're watching NETsn. So Ben Bratz is going to lead things off for the guard, who did not fare too well at the bottom of the last inning. All 3, Rich, Sims, and Sims struck out. And Bratz is going to foul that one back. Here's a pitch from Hoffman. That's going to be high. And 1-1 now the count. Bratz looks on. And he hits that one straight into center field. As Masters takes a few steps forward and watches that one into his glove for out number 1. So next up for the guard, number 10, left-hander Samuel Williams. And he'll step in against Hoffman for his first at-bat of the game. And here's the pitch. Swing and a miss for a strike. 0-1 now the count. And a good cut, but couldn't get around fast enough on it as Williams finds himself back 0-2. Here's the pitch. And a foul ball back out of play. So Samuel Williams stays alive, and he steps back in. And swing and a miss for a strikeout. As Williams is sat down, and David Clements makes his way to the plate. Hoffman with the pitch, and that's going to be low and outside for ball one. So it seems we have a pitcher's duel going on here so far, as Hoffman brings the second pitch, and a swing and a miss by Clements. And the count now is 1-1. Watches that one go by for a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike. A little low. And a swing and a miss by Bratz. And now it's a full count. And here's the pitch. And he watches that one go by. And another good off-speed pitch by Hoffman. And goodness gracious, there's no other word. That's just a nasty pitch right there to have to face. So 3 up, 3 down again, and it is just a pitching matchup here. Both sides are doing a great job on the pitching here in this ball game. Want to remind everybody, we were in Brownsboro this last Saturday. If we weren't able to live stream the Brownsboro and Brook Hill game that was played last Saturday, we were unable to get internet out there where we were. We did record it, however. We got it recorded, and it is up on YouTube right now. So the video is there. So if you wanted to go back and watch that ball game, you can do so. And we apologize we couldn't do that Saturday. But again, when there's no internet, there's not much we can do. But hey, we thank you for being here now and watching this great pitching duel here. We're going to take a short break here at Brook Hill. You're watching NETsn from Bullard, Texas. We'll be right back. And we are back here at Harrington Field. Caleb Gilreath, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I apologize if I'm not. But he's going to step in and watch the first pitch go down for a ball. Chesley looks in and wind up and delivers the pitch. And Gilreath swings at that one, and it's 1-1. Foul back. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. And that one is going to bounce over and even the count at 2. So 2-2 the count. As Gilreath looks in. He flew out in the first inning. That one's going to be high and outside for a ball. And here's the pitch. Another one outside, and that's going to be a walk as we have a base runner. So next up is Hayden Long. Long made it to first on a fielder's choice back in the top of the first inning. And he steps in with a runner on first and nobody out. Throws over to first. And that one's in there for a ball as Hayden Long watches that one. And a throw back over, making sure that Gilreath stays where he is. Chesley from the stretch, checking the first base runner, and throws it over again. So Chesley paying a lot of attention to Gilreath over there at first. Don't forget, guys, if you're watching, we do have that chat open. Go ahead and chat with us. Let us know where you're watching from and what you're thinking about the program so far. Throw back over to first and almost gets him. A good little pickoff move there as Gilreath, I think, made a few more steps closer to second than he wanted there. Chesley from the stretch and brings it home. In there for a strike. And that'll make it 1-1. So Caleb on first and almost gets caught looking on that one. Gets back, however, in time. Chesley in the stretch. And brings it home. Swing and a miss. And a throw over, not out ever in time, as Clements tries to catch Gilreath sleeping over there. But there at home plate, Hayden Long is behind in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the throw over to first again. And he is paying a lot of attention over there to Caleb Gilreath at first base, as Gilreath takes a good lead. And here's the pitch home. And that one's going to go into the outfield for a base hit. And it looks like the Chargers have a little bit of something going here in the top of the fourth. Before we go any further, I do want to give a shout out to my partner in crime here to my right, Claire Puckett, who helps me out quite a bit during our game. She also happens to be my daughter, but she's very good help. So, got to give her her due. Next up is Aiden Hoffman, the pitcher. And breaks. He squares up for a bunt, but does not pull back. So either he doesn't pull back in time or that was actually a strike on the pitch. Couldn't tell either way, but whatever it is, it's 0-1 the count. Chesley steps off, once again making sure the runner at second doesn't go anywhere. Paying a lot of attention still to Caleb Gilreath. Must know something about that young man. Must have a lot of speed. And once again, and here's the pitch. That one's going to bounce, and Clemens loses it, and the runners will advance. And no play at either base. So the ball gets away from Clemens. And now have runners on second and third. 1-1 the count, and no outs for the Chargers. Here's the pitch home. And that's going to be outside. Clemens drops that one. Temporarily loses sight of it, but gains it back. And Chesley's ready. Here's the pitch. And umpire says he went on that one, as what started out to be a check swing, ended up being a full swing, so it's going to be a strike. And the count runs even at 2. And that's going to be outside. And that one's going to be low, and that'll load the bases now, as Hoffman heads over to first. We got a time on the field as the coach will head out and have a little conversation, kind of settle down the team. And while he's out there, we're going to take a short break ourselves. We'll be right back. You're watching NETsn with today's game, brought to you by Azalea Orthopedics. We'll be right back.
Have you sustained a bone, joint, work, or sports injury? Problems with mobility or movement? Suffer with pain? Contact Azalea Orthopedics. Our specialists serve patients across East Texas. For proven, trusted medical care, you have a choice. Demand Azalea.
We are back. And the little powwow's over on the mound, so we'll be back to action here. As Will Ketchum is now at the plate with the bases loaded and still nobody out. Here's a pitch. That's going to be down low and past, and the runner's going to come home. And the play at the plate is not in time as the ball bounces off of Chesley's glove, and a score is across for the Chargers. And we have a run on the board. So 1 ball and no strikes to Ketchum. And now runners on second and third after the error. Pass ball, and here's the pitch. And that's going to be out into center field as Dylan Malone gets it, and he brings it on home. And again, the runners are not going to attempt to run on Malone. And I don't blame him, to be honest. So they stay put on second and third. And Chad Masters, who struck out at last at bat, is going to step into the batter's box. Checks the runner at second, and Chesley steps off, but nobody's covering the bag, so the runner just kind of stays where he is. And a swing and a miss. And that's strike one. Chesley from the stretch and brings it home. And squares around for a bunt as Masters fouls it off towards the guard dugout for strike two. So 0-2. And it looks like we have, I missed the exchange there, but it looks like we have a courtesy runner on second as Jackson Latimer is out there running for the Chargers. So Chesley gets what he wants and brings it home and bounces that, and it gets past Clements again, and no play at the plate as Caden Long slides in, and the lead by the Chargers swells to 2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Masters. Runner at third and 1 out for the Chargers. And that one's fouled back. And that's going to be hit down the first base line, and that's going to get past Sims into right field. And another run scores. And a base hit by Masters. And now Keegan Webb, as he lined out to short last inning. So 1 out, on and 1 out. And the throw over to first is not in time. Swing and a miss by Webb. And that's a strike. And that's going to get past Clemens, and the runner's going to advance to second. So Clemens having a little bit. That one's fouled back. One and two the count. Here's a pitch, and that one's straight up the middle. And a double play as Blake Witten makes the catch and gets it over there for the tag, as the runner could not get back in time to tag up. So the damage, however, is done. 3 runs come across for the Chargers. And that's where we are right now. We've gone through 3.5 here at Brook Hill, and we'll be right back as we're heading to the bottom of the 4th. Don't go anywhere. You're watching NETsn. And we are back. Looking at the chat here, yes, Corey, baseball on Monday. Baseball can happen at any time, my good sir. It's that kind of sport. And you know you enjoy watching and listening to me. So, anyway, we're back at the top of the lineup. Jabin Moore leading things off, and he watches that one go by for a strike. And that was a little inside, so 1-1 now the count. And here's the pitch. That's going to be high and outside for ball 2. So 2 balls and 1 strike. And it's a beautiful night here for baseball at Brook Hill. It's a great place to play. And here's a pitch. Down and out. So Jabin Moore finds himself in a 3-1 count. And this is what we call the swing away count. Swing for the fences. But he watches that one high. Good job. And that'll be ball 4. And he'll head down to first. And Cade Chesley will head in with nobody out and a runner on first. Throw over to first. Is not in time. Hoffman from the stretch. And that's going to be high for a ball. I think this is the actual first time that Hoffman has had to go from the stretch, as it's the first base runner that the guard have had during this ball game. So Moore, and back to first, as he does have some speed over there, and they're making sure that he doesn't go anywhere. Chesley waits for the pitch. Maybe he'll get it this time, and he does, and he'll rock that one, but it'll go foul towards the Charger dugout. And 1-1 will be the count. Go ahead and like and subscribe while you're watching. That way that you can be available and notified for all of our great broadcasting that we have here on NETsn. And a throw over, and it gets past as Moore pops up and heads over to second. And he rounds, thinking he's going to go to third, but Ketchum is backing up pretty fast and gets the ball back in just in time, but not before Moore heads over into scoring position for the guard. And 2 balls and 1 strike now at the plate for Cade Chesley. Hoffman steps off just to, looks like he didn't like the signs that were coming. And now he's ready from the stretch. And brings it home. And that's a hit straight up. And throw over to first is in time, as Hoffman checks at second, make sure Moore doesn't go anywhere, and gets the first out of the game. So next up is Dylan Malone. And Malone steps into the batter's box as Hoffman looks in for the sign. And here's the pitch. And that one's going to be down the pipe for the strike. Hoffman with the pitch. And that's going to be high. Fly ball out of play. And now Malone behind in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Here's a pitch. And that was high. I have to give Shelburne a little credit. He tried to bring it down and frame it, but it didn't really go. That was a little bit too much above the helmet there to try to bring it down and frame, but got to give him credit where credit is due on that one. So 1 ball and 2 strikes now. And here's the pitch. And that one is down left field line and gets past the third baseman as Moore rounds third and heads home and is in there. And the guard get a run on the board on a base hit RBI by Dylan Malone. And now the designated hitter, Lex Rich, is going to step in after that RBI single by Malone. And with 1 out and 1 on. Here's the pitch. And that's in there for a strike. So 3-1 is your score here in Brook Hill. And here's the pitch. And watches that one go by. Not sure what he was waiting on for that. But now he's down. No balls and 2 strikes. Rich struck out at his last at bat on a nasty curveball. And that's going to be high and outside. Good eye by Rich. And it'll be 1 ball and 2 strikes. Malone. Short lead over. And that one bounces. And Malone's going to go. And the throw is no go. He doesn't throw it as Gilreath doesn't make the throw. And that'll advance the runner in scoring position. And that one's in there for a strike as Rich is sat down on strikes. David Sims is next up, and he struck out his first at bat. So he's going to try to do a little bit better this time as he steps in. And Hoffman actually steps off the mound to regroup, and Sims steps back in. Here's the pitch. And that's a good little movement on that one over the strike zone for strike number 1. Hoffman sets. And with the pitch. That's going to be down low. And 1-1 the count. So Hoffman gets ready, and Dylan Malone takes a few steps off his second, and Hoffman tries to see what he can do over there and steps off and gets Malone back to second. And Hoffman taking a long stare at Malone, brings that one home, and a swing and a strike. Shelburne kind of lost that one, but did a good job of keeping it in front of him, which kept Malone on second. 1 on and 2 out for the guard. 1-2 the count to Sims. And here's the pitch. And that one's going to be hit foul on the first base side. Coach scoops that one up. And the count remains 1-2. And here's the pitch. Swing and a miss for a strike, and that'll end the 4th inning with a strikeout. So 1 run does come across, and that takes the lead from 3-2 for the Chargers as we've gone through 4 here at Brook Hill. Today's game brought to you by Azalea Orthopedics. We want to thank you for watching. Like and subscribe so you don't miss a minute of the action here on NETsn. We'll be right back. We are back to a good baseball game here in Bullard, Texas at the Brook Hill School campus. Outside for ball one is the pitch to Keegan Webb. Excuse me, I apologize, Jake Strom. That one's in there for a strike. And 1-1 now the count. Here's the pitch from Chesley. That's going to be inside, bouncing. Pardon me. And here's the pitch. And that's going to be hit to Moore. And Moore is going to get it over to first base. And that's going to be out number one. So a quick out here to start the top of the fifth. And Jackson Shelburne will step in. Here's a pitch outside for a ball. And squares around for a bunt, but doesn't pull back in time. Plus, it looked to me like it was over for a strike either way. So 1-1 now the count. And a swing and a miss for a strike. So 1-2 to Shelburne. And that one was on the outside corner, but ball, says the umpire. And the count runs even at 2. It looked good from me up here, but again, I'm not the umpire, and they don't pay me to do that. Strike, excuse me, not a strike. It's a foul ball back. And the count remains even at 2. I've done the umpiring before. I do not wish that on anybody, nor do I want to do it again. But I can do it from up here as an armchair umpire, and that's a swing and miss for strike 3 and a strikeout for Shelburne. So 2 quick outs with a ground out to shortstop and a strikeout. And now we're back at the top of the lineup as Cade Johnson is ready to bat. Chesley ready. And here's the pitch. And that's going to be a foul tip down. And I think that hit Clements, kind of bounced up at him. And so the umpire is going to go out and give Clements a little bit of time to relax for a minute. We're going to take just a very short break while they're tending to him. We'll be right back.
Have you sustained a bone, joint, work, or sports injury? Problems with mobility or movement? Suffer with pain? Contact Azalea Orthopedics. Our specialists serve patients across East Texas for proven, trusted medical care. You have a choice. Demand Azalea.
So everything good. Clements is fine. Coach just came out to talk to him. I think it just kind of jarred him a little bit. It may have bounced up underneath and hit him in the chest or the chin. So as we resume, it's 0-1. That's going to be inside another bounce as Clements stops it. Chesley. Swing and a miss by Johnson. And that puts him behind 1-2 in the count. Johnson doubled in the first. And grounded out to Chesley in the second. And it's going to be bounced in for a ball, so 2-2 the count. And here's the pitch. And that one's going to be hit into, looked like left center field, but Jabin Moore was right in position to make the catch, and he was in the grass out there in left field. So that's out number 3. So we're through 4.5 here in Bullard. Your score, Dallas Christian 3, Brook Hill 1. You're watching NETsn. Go ahead, like and subscribe us with us here on our YouTube channel. We'd love to have you. Go ahead and chat with me too. Our chat is open. Love to hear from you. And we'll be right back. You're watching NETsn. And we're back. We're in the bottom of the 5th. Andrew Sims fouls that one back for a strike. And he hits that one straight up the middle. And the shortstop grabs it and throws it over to first, but not in time. As Keegan Webb gets a good one, but it's really deep behind second base there, and tries to get it across, but couldn't get there in time, and we have a base hit by Andrew Sims. Ben Bratz steps in. And he's ready for the pitch from Hoffman. Squares around a bunt and goes after it, but misses it. And it's going to be strike 1. So it looks like they're going to try to advance that runner over to second and get him into scoring position. See if they'll get Bratz to square around for the bunt again. And he does. And he goes after it again, so it's a strike, but it looks like Shelburne lost sight of the ball and then bumbled it a little bit, and it gave Andrew Sims time to get over to second base. But Bratz is now down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes, and the bunt is practically taken away. So he'll have to hit away on this one, if it's in the strike zone, of course. And he swings away, and it's strike number 3. So he struck out. But I guess the good thing is the same would have happened if he would have bunted the ball on a sacrifice bunt. A runner did get advanced to second base. So Samuel Williams now steps into the batter's box with a runner at second in scoring position and only 1 out on the board. And he swings at that one, a little outside for ball 1. And Hoffman takes a long look and just doesn't like what he sees and steps out. And Williams steps out himself and is now ready. Steps back in, and here we go. Hoffman gets the sign, gets from the stretch, checks the runner, and brings it home. And a swing and a miss for strike 2. And here's the pitch. And that's a swing and a miss. And a strikeout by Samuel Williams. And now Dallas Clements will make his way. Clements struck out in the 3rd. So we'll see what he can do in this one. Runner at 2nd and 2 outs now for the Guard. They trail by 2 here in the bottom of the 5th. And that one is going to be inside for a ball. Clements wanted to swing on that one, but smartly laid off. Hoffman brings the pitch. And another inside where Clements had to kind of dodge it. So 2-0 the count. And that one catches the outside corner for a strike, so 2 balls and 1 strike. Sims takes a lead off second. Nobody covering the bag. Here's the pitch home. That's going to be high. Little theatrics going on there. Shelburne spins around, but Sims stays at second. 3-1 now the count. And that's going to be outside for a ball. And that'll put Clements on first. So Jabin Moore will head over. And we're going to have a courtesy runner coming out for the catcher, Clements. And it's going to be Braxton Durrett, number 27, as he'll take the place at first. And we have a little powwow on the mound. All right. So the conversation's over. And Jabin Moore will step up. He struck out in the 1st and walked in the 4th. So we'll see what he can do in this one. Here in the bottom of the 5th. And a swing and a miss for a strike. And that'll be 0-1. 2 on and 2 out. And we have time as umpire is trying to get something over in the dugout of the Guard. And we're back to play. Here's the pitch. And another swing and a miss for a strike. So quickly, Jabin Moore is down in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. And the runner goes, and that's going to be fouled off to the outside, so everybody will have to go back where they were and reset. Moore ready. Hoffman from the stretch. And that's a swing and a miss for strike 3. So the Guard leave 2 runners on base. No runs came across. And the Chargers still lead after 5, 3-1. And we're on to the 6th. So it's a pretty close game still here in Brook Hill. So, hey, Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You're watching NETsn live from Bullard, Texas, on the campus of Brook Hill. We'll be right back.
Swanee Computer Services. Is your computer's life hanging on by a thread? Maybe you need to eliminate a pesky virus, speed up your system, or send performance into overdrive. Whatever the case, giving your computer the VIP treatment can be costly, and there aren't a lot of people that you can truly trust. That's where we come in. We've been doing this for years, so we know our stuff. We pride ourselves on our ability to fix any computer problem at your home or office with the most reasonable prices in the industry. There's no reason to go anywhere else. We will assist with internet and Wi-Fi connections, crashing and freezing issues, software errors, data loss and retrieval, hardware faults and upgrades, virus and spiral removal. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. We'll get you going on site, or you can bring your computer to us. Either way, you'll get the VIP treatment you and your computer deserve. Get in touch today and fix your computer the right way. Swanee Computer Services. Contact us today at 903-386-3656.
Caleb Gilreath is going to lead things off here in the top of the 6th inning. That one's in there for a strike. Outside for a ball. So 1-1 now the count. Here's the pitch from Chesley. And that's going to be out into right field. And Sims gets over and makes the catch for out number 1. So a good job by the right fielder. Now Hayden Long. And here's the pitch. And that's going to be straight up. And that's going to go to, and that's going to be called a foul. I guess it went down and hit home plate. So that's a strike. Here's the pitch. Outside, swing and a miss for strike 2. So Long finds himself at 0-2 with 1 out and nobody on. And a good hit out into left field. As Williams gets that one back in quickly. And a base hit for the Chargers. Now Aiden Hoffman is stepping in. He looks down to third and got a sign from his coach and steps in the batter's box. Chesley checks over at first and throws it over. And looks like the guard are playing the possible sacrifice bunt situation here. But that one's going to be fouled back, out of play, and strike 1. So Chesley looks in, gets the sign, finds what he wants, and brings the pitch. And that's a hit straight into center field. Malone pulls up with the catch and throws it in. Runner stays at first. And we have 2 down for the Chargers. As Will Ketchum steps into the batter's box. And throw over to first. But Long gets back in time. And here's the pitch. It's going to be outside. Good stop by Clemens to keep it in front of him and keep Long on first base. And here's the pitch. And that one's going to be fouled back for a strike. Got a lot more baseball later this week. I'm going to be in Van on Friday as Brownsboro will head to town there. Big game for that district. As of right now, Van is undefeated in the district. Chesley over to first. So, like I said, a big game there. And then on Saturday, back here at Brook Hill, and Brownsboro will come here and have a rematch from last Saturday. And a pitch, throw back over to first. And then next week is the final week of the season. And we have the Van Lindale matchup, both of those games. The one on Tuesday at Lindale and the one on Friday at Van. Once again, big playoff potential there for those two teams as they're both in the same district. And they'll be the final 2 games of the season. Or close to it. I think it's the final week or two. I think that is the final 2 games of the season for the district there. But either way, good games coming up over the next week or two. So like and subscribe so you won't miss any of that. And that pitch is in there, swung on and missed. And they'll even the count at 2 for Ketchum. So 1 on, 2 outs. And 2-2 the count. Here's a pitch. And that one's bounced, but Clemens gets in front of it, throws down to first, but not in time. As Long gets back. Clemens did a good job to keep that in front of him. Chesley steps off. Once again, if you missed the game last week, we didn't get to live stream the Brownsboro Brook Hill game on last Saturday. That's a foul tip. And it was caught by Clemens, so that's going to be out. And that ends the top of the 6th. Once again, though, last Saturday we tried to live stream the Brook Hill Brownsboro game in Brownsboro, but were unable to do so. So we weren't able to get that live streamed, but we did record it, and it was put up on YouTube today. So you'll be able to go watch that game. I will apologize. I think the first couple of innings we had some technical difficulties with the sound, but everything played out as the game went on, and it was a great game if you want to go watch that one. So we are here 3-1 as the Chargers lead going into the bottom of the 6th. And as Brook Hill is down to what could be their final 6 outs. And hopefully they'll come out swinging in this bottom of the 6th. We'll be right back. You're watching NETsn live from Bullard, Texas on the campus of the Brook Hill School. Today's game brought to you by Azalea Orthopedics. We'll be right back.
Struggling with mobility, chronic pain, work, or sports injury? At Azalea Orthopedics, our team of highly trained physicians specialize in complete orthopedic care, pain management, sports medicine, physical medicine, and rehabilitation. If you've sustained a bone or joint injury, have mobility or movement problems, struggle with pain, contact Azalea Orthopedics. We're conveniently located across East Texas, serving 18 counties. When visiting your doctor, urgent care, or hospital, you have a choice. Demand Azalea. At Azalea Orthopedics, your health is our priority.
And Chesley lead things off with the guard. And I believe that one goes back down, out for a ball. I'm not quite sure. The umpire is not as animated as some umpires, so it's hard to tell from behind what he's calling. Now, that one was a strike. Hoffman's still on the mound for the Chargers. And good little off-speed pitch puts that in there for a strike. So 1-2 the count. Hoffman brings it inside, and it's a hit by pitch as Chesley will make a stroll down to first base. And Dylan Malone will head in. And Chesley will head off as a courtesy runner will come in. Chesley's the pitcher, so courtesy runner comes in. And I'm trying to get the number. I believe it's Ashton Alexander, number 28. So Malone looks down at coach to see what he wants him to do. I'm sure that either a bunt is on. Nope. And he's going to let him swing away. And he misses for strike one. It's going to be interesting to see if Brook Hill starts playing a little small ball here and trying to move runner around the bases to bite into that lead. Throw over. Alexander back in time. Pretty sure. Maybe. Y'all see what number that is? It's either Alexander or Calvi Courtney. I can't quite tell. But once I find out, you'll know. And that one's going to be bounced off the catcher. Good job to keep it in front. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be fouled out of play. So 1-2 the count, and it is Ashton Alexander on first as the courtesy runner for Chesley. My helper's up here, and I'll even the count at 2. And here's the pitch from Hoffman. And that one was a little off speed. It's going to go out into right field. And it's going to go foul. Ketchum tried to get it. There's a dad joke in there, but I'm not going to make it. So we're going to reset. I would have made it. My daughter would have rolled her eyes at me next to me, so I wasn't going to do that. And we have a pitch. And it's going to be down low, so Malone finds himself with a full count and a runner on first with nobody out. Hoffman with the pitch. And that's in there for strike 3. And Malone didn't agree with that one. But he makes his way back. And I kind of have to agree. That was a little outside, but it's a strikeout nonetheless. And out number 1. And here comes Lex Rich. Rich has not had very much luck against Hoffman. He has struck out both times he's been to the plate tonight. Here's the pitch. That's going to be outside, and the throw over to first is going to be high as Alexander gets back. Here's the pitch from Hoffman, and that's going to be a swing and a miss for strike 1. So 1-1 now the count. And throw back over. Alexander is safe, says the umpire. As Rich waits. And here's the pitch. And swings at that one for strike number 2. And he gets a hold of that one, but it's going to high fly ball in the right field. The right fielder comes up as Mitch Ketchum is underneath it and makes the catch for out number 2. So David Sims makes his way to the batter's box. And Sims, just like Rich, has struck out both times he's been to the box today, and he swings at the first one for strike 1. So Sims hoping that he can change the pattern of the day with a runner on first and 2 outs. And that one's in there for a strike, a little low and inside, but the umpire's strike zone may be widening a little bit as the game goes on. The Guard trail by 2 here in the bottom of the 6th. Here's the pitch. And that one is going to be a ball. Honestly, that one looked more like a strike than the one before it. But, again, who am I? And here's the pitch from Hoffman. And that's a swing and a miss. And strikeout number 3. So, nothing comes from the hit by pitch early with the runner on first, as no runs come across, and Brook Hill still trails by 2. And we're in the final inning of the game, heading to the top of the 7th. You're watching NETsn, and today's game brought to you by Azalea Orthopedics. We're glad that you're still with us. Do not go anywhere, because as Brook Hill can tell you, this game can change on a dime. So don't go away. We got a good one here in Bullard. We'll be right back. You're watching. And we're back. Here's a pitch. And that's going to be a swing and a miss by Chad Masters. And that'll be a ball. So 1-1 now the count. That one's fouled back out of play towards the concession stand. And 1-2 the count. Masters struck out in the second at his first at bat and had a base hit back in the third. And that's a swing and a miss for a strikeout. And out number 1. So Chesley strikes out the first batter he sees this inning, and Keegan Webb will step up for the Chargers. And a good pitch by Chesley. And I don't know how much more over the plate you can be, but that's going to be a ball according to the umpire. High and outside. And 2-0. And that one's going to catch the outside corner for a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. Still haven't figured out this umpire's strike zone. I don't know if he has either. And that's going to be a hit right into left field. Right past the third baseman. And that'll put a runner on first for the Chargers. And Jack Stram will head up. He grounded out to the shortstop. His last at bat, struck out his first at bat of the game. And a throw over to first. Make sure the Webb stays where he is. 1 on and 1 out. And here's the pitch. That's going to be outside. Clements, good job grabbing that one. And that one's going to catch the outside corner for a strike, so 1-1 is now the count. Good job by Clements. Chesley, excuse me. Stram waiting. And here's the pitch by Chesley. That's going to be down. And the throw is almost in time. A little bit behind. As Webb gets back there. A little scare. And a good job by Clements to be aware and throw that over there. Almost caught him on that. Here's the pitch. That's going to be on the outside. And 3-1 is going to be the count. Chesley looks in. Webb with the lead off of first, and that one is a ball. Chesley showing frustration to the umpire. And we have time on the field. So while they're having a conversation, we're going to see real quick if they're going to make a pitching change. And it looks like we are. And that'll be all for the senior Chesley. He finishes the night with 6 strikeouts and only allowed 3 runs in. And those 3 coming back in the 4th inning. So we'll have a new pitcher for the Guard. And it'll be Ben Bratz, as he will take the mound, and we'll take a short break while he's warming up. You're watching NETsn. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Struggling with mobility, chronic pain, work, or sports injury? At Azalea Orthopedics, our team of highly trained physicians specialize in complete orthopedic care, pain management, sports medicine, physical medicine, and rehabilitation. If you've sustained a bone or joint injury, have mobility or movement problems, struggle with pain, contact Azalea Orthopedics. We're conveniently located across East Texas, serving 18 counties. When visiting your doctor, urgent care, or hospital, you have a choice. Demand Azalea. At Azalea Orthopedics, your health is our priority.
So Bronx is through with the warm-up. And we have a new batter. Austin Ellis is stepping in place of Jack Strom. And that's going to be a swing and a miss for strike one. Correction, he's not in for Jack Strom. Jack Strom just walked. I apologize. Jackson Shelburne is who Austin Ellis is in for. So 1-1 now the count. Two on and one out for the Chargers. And Bratz steps off and gets the runner back to second. And here's the pitch. And that's going to be a ball. And here comes the pitch. And once again, two good pitches by Bratz that look to be over the plate get called balls. And 3 balls and 1 strike. So again, have not figured out this umpire's strike zone. Not really sure where it is. And the throw back is not in time. It bounces off of Moore's glove. Witten backing him up. So 3-1 the count. And here's the pitch. And that's going to be fouled back. So full count. So 2 on and 1 out. Bratz trying to get this batter out here with a 3-2 count. Here's the pitch. That one's fouled back off the net. So the count remains full. And here's the pitch home. And then once again, a ball that looked like it was over the plate was called a ball. So we have loaded bases. And Cade Johnson will step up. So Johnson. Here's the pitch. And ball one. And that's a high fly ball, going to be out of play for a strike. And that seems to be the only way that Ben Bratz can get a strike here so far. And it's been actually for both teams, it's a struggle to try to find the strike zone. And a good pitch down the third base line. And foul ball, says the umpire. And so everybody will have to reset. And it looked like it bounced over on the fair side of the third base bag. And went fair, but umpire called it foul. So we got to reset. So we got some interesting things going here in the top of the seventh. And both sides not happy with some calls that are going. And 1-2 now the count to Cade Johnson. And here's the pitch. And a swing and a miss for strike three and out number two. And with that, Caleb Gilreath will head up and take the batter's box with the bases loaded and two away. Here's the pitch, and that's fouled back for a strike. And I believe that hit somebody's car, the way that the reaction of the crowd was going. Hope it wasn't mine. To be a little selfish there. There's a swing and another foul ball back out of play. Luckily for everybody, that's not in the parking lot this time. So Gilreath is no balls and two strikes here. And here's the pitch from Bratz. And that one's going to be up. And it's going to go in time. A good throw across by Bratz. Straight over to first base. And Bratz pitches his way out of that one as no runs come across. And the Chargers leave three. But that was a tough one. That was a tough one to watch. So we're on to the bottom of the seventh, the final three outs possibly for the Guard. They got to get at least two to keep this game going as they trail by two. We'll be right back. You're watching NETsn. It's a good one, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
The Northeast Texas Sports Network is dedicated on delivering the most entertaining sports broadcasts in East Texas. And if you're interested in having your next sporting event streamed live, visit us online at netsn.live.
are back here at Harrington Field on the campus of Brook Hill School for a finish that could be for the books. It's 3-1 as Brook Hill trails, and Andrew Sims is up to bat. He foul tips the first one back for strike one. We have Sims, Bratz is on deck, and Samuel Williams is in the hole for the guard. So Sims. Hoffman still on the mound for the Chargers. That one goes over the head, kind of at the head of Andrew Sims. I think he was trying to throw that curveball, and it just got away from him there. And it is late. He's been pitching a lot, so here comes the pitch. That one's going to be hit high, pop fly infield, as Johnson's underneath for out number one. So a quick out. And Ben Bratz is going to step up. And that's going to be a strike. Bratz flew out to center and has struck out so far this game. And here's the pitch. And that's the swing and a miss for strike two. So 0-2 the count. Hoffman with the windup. And that's fouled back. And Bratz stays alive. And here comes the pitch. And that one is going to be hit over to Johnson. So Johnson's been in both of the outs. And we're down to the final out. And Samuel Williams is going to step up and hope not to be that final out and keep this inning going. And that's going to be low for ball one. Williams has struggled this game. But as anybody who's watched baseball knows, that can change on a dime. So anything can happen. Here's the pitch to Williams. And a swing and a miss. And it's 1-1 the count. And here's the pitch from Hoffman. And that somehow, from the other batter's box, catches the outside corner for a strike, and it's 1-2 strikes. And here's the pitch. That one's back out of play. Hoffman is a fantastic little pitcher for the Chargers. He's got great movement and some great stuff. He's done a fantastic job. And here's the pitch from Hoffman. And that's going to be high and outside for a ball. So far, he's got 13 strikeouts in this ball game. And a good little curveball. That, I don't know what that was. It looked like a strike down the middle with fell right into the strike zone. But that'll make the count even. Make the count full. And that one catches the outside corner, says the umpire.
That's terrible, Blue.
And that's going to be the end of the ball game. A lot of disgruntled fans. And the Brook Hill Guard drops the game 3-1 over the Dallas Christian Chargers. And they'll be heading to Mesquite to face the Chargers again later on this week. So the Brook Hill Guard have struggled the last 2 games. They dropped a heartbreaker on Saturday against Brownsboro, 7-6, and then losing this one 3-1. And that'll be all for us here in Brook Hill. It was a fantastic game. I want to thank you for watching. Hey, don't forget, before you log off and go anywhere else, like and subscribe so you don't miss a minute of the action. I'll be in Van on Friday night to bring you the Brownsboro Van baseball game in some District 4A action. It's going to be a good one. Van undefeated as of right now, although tomorrow's game could be different, but you never know. But as of right now, they are undefeated. Brownsboro, taking the win on Saturday against Brook Hill, is looking pretty good as they are tied for second with Lindale. So we got good ones this week, and then Saturday I'm back here at Brook Hill for Brownsboro-Brook Hill game. Hey, I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you Friday, hopefully. Y'all have a good night. For Keith Whitman, my partner Claire Puckett, helping out with the scoreboard, I want to thank you for watching. You're watching NETsn. We'll see you next time. Have a good night, everybody.